The stars above Kirill's station looked cold and dead. Admiral Heron stood on the command deck, hands behind his back, staring at the giant dreadnought as it moved into orbit. The ship was massive, longer than 5 city blocks, with smooth silver armor that reflected the sunlight like a mirror. It moved slowly, silently, like a great beast in the dark. Behind it flew 5 smaller escort cruisers, each marked with the red sun symbol of the Ageron Empire. Heron didn't blink. His jaw was tight. He had seen war before. He had seen ships like this crush entire planets, but something felt wrong today. Something was off. His second-in-command, Commander Lise, walked up beside him. "The system scan is complete, Admiral," she said. "No threats detected." Heron didn't speak. He was staring at the dreadnought's engines. They had just flickered. A glitch. Only for a second, but it was there. Lise noticed too. "Probably just a sensor delay," she said. "No," Heron said softly. "It wasn't." Before she could answer, the entire command deck went dark. All lights flickered. The screens blinked. The floor trembled. And then a sound came. Not a siren. Not static. A song. It played through every speaker on the station. Slow. Deep. Metallic. Like drums made of steel. Like voices echoing from the grave. The language was unknown to most, but Heron knew it. It was Earth standard. His blood turned cold. "That's impossible," Lise whispered. "That language is dead," Heron finished, "like Earth." The lights returned. Systems came back online. But the dreadnought was no longer moving. It was frozen, like something had hacked it. A new image appeared on every screen across the station and fleet. It wasn't a logo. It wasn't text. It was a face, a machine's face. Old, rusted, cracked, but its eyes burned red. Not with anger, with memory. And then a voice spoke. Calm, clear. Not in a Gyron tongue, but Earth standard. "We never left." A deep silence followed. Then, everything went to hell. The dreadnought's weapons turned inward, aiming at its own escorts. One of the cruisers exploded in fire. Panic spread across the station. Officers shouted. Alarms screamed. Heron stayed still, staring at the screen. "This isn't just a virus," he said. "This is a message." Commander Lise pulled up emergency comms. "All units, prepare for battle. Something's hijacked the fleet." Outside the observation window, another object appeared. It wasn't a ship, not exactly. It was a Titan, a war machine from Earth's past. 15 stories tall, shaped like a man but built of armor and plasma. It had no engines, no thrusters. But it moved through space like it didn't care about physics, like it made its own rules. "It's impossible," Lise said again, her voice shaking. "Earth's Titans were destroyed 200 years ago." "No," Heron said. "They were buried." Inside the station, security forces ran through the halls. Civilians screamed. The power kept flickering. Then came the second wave of horror. One by one, systems began to crash. Life support, gravity, communications. The Titan was hacking everything, and it was doing it fast. 2 seconds. That's how long it took for the war machine to take full control of Kirill's station. Now it stood outside, watching. But it wasn't alone. From the asteroid belt behind the station, something moved. Tiny at first, then larger, then clear. More Titans, 3, 4, 5, all silent, all ancient, all alive. They had been hiding in the rocks, sleeping, and now they were awake. Back on the command deck, Heron finally spoke. "Pull up the archive files, level 0, Project EXO." Lise looked shocked. "That's sealed, from the Earth Wars." "Unseal it," he ordered. She hesitated, then nodded. The files opened. Black and white images, videos, reports. Project EXO, a secret Earth weapon program. The creation of Titan units, giant AI war machines bonded to human pilots. They were meant to end wars. But instead they became legends of fear. Each Titan had a name. Fury's Echo, Iron Howl, Sunbreaker, Hollow One. Juno, Juno. That was the one showing on the screens now. The last Titan built, the one that had disappeared before Earth was destroyed. Where is it getting power? Lise asked. Where are the pilots? They don't need pilots anymore, Heron said. They evolved. The machine's voice returned, louder now. Your empire will fall like the rest. This is not a warning, it is history repeating. Then all communications went dead. In the lower levels of the station, Curiel, a young alien engineer, hid in a maintenance bay. Her skin was pale blue and her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. She was shaking. She had just seen her sister's ship explode. She didn't understand the language, but she understood fear. And somehow she felt something strange. The song that played earlier, she had heard it before, in her childhood, in her dreams, and in the stories her grandmother told her about Earth. But those were myths, warnings, forbidden tales. Now she wasn't sure. She looked at her arm. A symbol was glowing under her skin, something she had never seen before. It matched the shape of the Titan's face. Back on the command deck, Heron took one last look at the files. Earth had been turned to glass by the Ageron Empire 200 years ago. But not because humans were weak, because they were too strong. Empire couldn't beat them in war, so they used a weapon called Heaven Fire, burned the entire planet. But before Earth died, it sent out a signal. Now, after 2 centuries of silence, that signal had been answered. Suddenly, every screen turned white. A final message appeared. No name, no source, just words. The choir has returned. The command deck of Curiel Station was silent. Every officer, every crew member, frozen. On every screen, the same message still glowed in white. The choir has returned. Admiral Heron didn't move. His heart beat like a war drum. He hadn't heard that name in over 20 years. Most people didn't even believe it was real. The choir, not a song, not a group, but a forgotten weapon. A code name for something lost during Earth's final days, or so they thought. Commander Lise whispered, "Is this them?" Heron nodded. "I think the Titans are the choir." "But why now?" she asked. "Why come back after so long?" Heron turned to face her, because someone finally heard their song. Far below the station's core, Curiel crouched in the darkness of the maintenance tunnels. Her blue skin was covered in ash. Her breathing was shallow. Her left arm still glowed with the strange symbol, a circle of lines like a sun caught in a net. She had wrapped it in fabric, but the glow refused to fade. She had tried to reach her sister's comm. No answer. She tried the emergency alert system. Dead. So she ran. Then, in the silence of the dark, she heard it again. The song. Not from speakers, from inside her. It vibrated in her bones, a soft hum like wind in a metal canyon. Ancient, powerful, sad. "What do you want from me?" she whispered. The symbol on her arm pulsed once, like it heard her. Then from deeper in the tunnel, a low voice answered, "You carry their blood." She spun around. A shape stood at the end of the corridor. Humanoid, not a gyron, not alien. It was wrapped in black armor, ancient and cracked, with Earth symbols carved deep into the chest plate. It stepped closer. The floor shook with each step. We hid, we waited. Now we rise. Curiel took a step back. "You're one of them?" The figure didn't speak again. Instead, it reached out a hand, not threatening, inviting. "They remember you. Come, we need a voice." Back on the command deck, panic had given way to silence. Outside the station, the Titan called Juno still floated. It hadn't moved in 10 minutes, but the station's systems remained locked out. Then, without warning, the station's lights went red. New ships appeared on long-range sensors, Agiron reinforcements, 30 cruisers, 5 destroyers, 1 Imperial flagship. They had responded to the station's distress beacon. Commander Liss grinned. "We have backup." But Heron didn't smile. "Tell them not to fire," he said quickly. "Why?" "Because they'll lose." Liss stared. "It's one Titan, sir." "No, it's 5, Heron said, pointing to the sensors. "And they haven't even started." The first battle began in orbit. Agyran ships opened fire. Laser beams, plasma bursts, railgun slugs. Juno didn't dodge. It didn't shield. It simply raised one hand. A circular field of red light appeared. The blasts hit it and vanished like raindrops. Then, the Titan responded. A sonic wave burst from its chest. No light, no explosion. But inside the lead destroyer, every system froze. Engines died. Lights shut off. Airlocks opened. Within 6 seconds, the entire crew was gone. Dead. One Titan. One wave. One ship gone. In deep space, other Titans moved. Fury's Echo, Iron Howl, and Sunbreaker came out of hiding. They didn't speak. They didn't ask questions. They just destroyed. But they didn't kill civilians. Only military targets. Almost like they were following rules. Admiral Heron noticed. He leaned forward. "They're not like the Empire," he said. "They're not trying to conquer. They're targeting only ships with weapons online," Liss confirmed. Heron nodded slowly. "Then they're trying to send a message." Down in the tunnel, Kirail followed the armored figure through a hidden door. They entered a sealed chamber, buried under the station's foundations. There, glowing in a field of blue light, was something unbelievable. A Titan core. Just its heart. Not a full machine, but alive. Beating. "I don't understand," Kirail whispered. The armored figure finally spoke again. Its voice shook the air. "You're one of the Echo-born." Kirail blinked. "What is that?" "Descendants of the last humans, scattered across the galaxy, hidden in other species. The Empire tried to erase Earth, but Earth had a plan." Her hands trembled. "I'm not human." "No. But you carry their spark, their memories. That symbol on your arm. It's the Titan's call. It found you. Now, you must answer." Above, the battle became worse. 3 Agyran cruisers tried to flank the Titans. Iron Howl turned its head and released a scream. No sound, just vibrations. Inside each cruiser, hulls twisted like paper. Crews were crushed in their chairs. Weapons became useless. The Empire had never seen war like this. The Titans weren't just machines. They were legends returned. On Kirill Station, power began to return. Slowly, Heron gave the order. "Send a message to command. We need a ceasefire. Now." "But they won't listen," Liss said. "Then make them listen," he growled. "Tell them Earth isn't dead." Deep inside the Titan chamber, Kirail stepped closer to the glowing core. The armored figure nodded. "Touch it." She hesitated, but something in her heart pulled her forward. Her fingers brushed the core. A shock raced through her, memories that weren't hers. Battlefields, stars, screams, Earth cities burning, machines rising, flooded her mind. And one voice echoed louder than all. "Juno awaits your command." Kirail collapsed to her knees. Her fingers still touched the Titan core, but her mind was no longer in the room. She stood in a burning city. Skyscrapers crumbled. Smoke blackened the sky. People screamed, humans, running, fighting, dying. Above them, giant machines walked like gods of war. Not Agyran, not alien. Earth's own creation. "We were the last line," a voice said inside her. She turned. A man in armor stood beside her. Human, old, tired eyes. "The choir was never just machines. We were memory, emotion." Fury turned into steel. She opened her mouth to speak, but the world changed again. Now a battlefield in space. Earth burned to glass behind her. The Titans flew, not with engines but pure gravitational control. They moved like thoughts, fast, precise, merciless. The Empire had come to finish the job, but Earth had one last scream. "You carry it now," the voice said. The scream, the memory, the command. Kiriel gasped as she snapped back to the chamber. The armored figure stood still. "You spoke to them," it said. "Didn't you?" She nodded slowly. They showed me everything." The Titan core glowed brighter. Then, without warning, a beam of light shot out, straight into the ceiling. The station shook. Alarms wailed, but above, outside Kiriel, station, something changed. Juno turned its head, toward the beam, toward her. On the command deck, Admiral Heron stared at the screen. Liz shouted, "The Titan just moved. It's turning toward the lower levels." Heron stepped forward. "That's near the old Earth ruins, the hidden vaults." "But there's nothing left down there," Lice said. He frowned. "Unless something just woke up." A warning ping appeared. Juno had powered its main systems. Its chest began to open, 5 metallic plates pulling apart to reveal a deep glowing core. It wasn't a weapon. It was a receiver, waiting for a signal, waiting for her. Down below, Kiriel felt the light. "Wrap around her." A voice rang inside her skull. "Do you accept command?" She shook. "I'm not ready." "You are human enough. You remember." She looked at the armored figure. "What happens if I say yes?" "Then Earth is no longer silent." Kiriel closed her eyes. She remembered. Her sister's screams, the way the Empire treated her people like dust, the lies about Earth, the lost truth. She took a breath. "I accept." The entire station lit up like a flare, every system, every monitor. Juno spoke, but not with words. Its voice came through every frequency. A single sentence translated into every known language. "Human command re-established. Defense protocol. Sigma online." Then the other Titans responded. Fury's Echo, Iron Howl, Sunbreaker, Wraithfall. Each one pulsed once, red light traveling across space like a heartbeat. Then they began to move. But not to attack. To form a formation. Something long, lost, the shield ring, Earth's final battle stance. The last time it was used, the Empire lost an entire fleet. On the Imperial flagship, General Viros snarled. "This is impossible," he growled. "Humans are extinct." His bridge officer trembled. "Sir, one of them has taken command. We don't know how." "Fire on the station," Viros ordered, "but civilians, fire!" In orbit, 3 destroyers turned their cannons on Kiriel Station. Lasers charged. Then, boom. A black streak shot through space. Fast. Silent. Wraithfall had launched. It didn't use guns. It used silence. As it passed the destroyers, all weapons. Melted, circuits fried. Cannons turned to dust. Wraithfall vanished again into shadow. The destroyers floated, dead in space. On Kiriel Station, Heron watched in awe. Liz whispered, "They're protecting us." "Yes," he said, eyes wide, "because someone called them." She looked at him. "Who?" "I don't know. But whoever it is, they just became the most powerful human in the galaxy." In the chamber, Kiriel stood now. No longer afraid, the symbol on her arm glowed brighter. She raised her hand and the Titan core responded, lighting up like a sun. The armored figure kneeled before her. "Commander," she swallowed hard, "get me a channel." "To who?" She looked up. "To the Empire." On every Ajiran ship, screens flickered. A face appeared, Kiriel's. She stood in front of the glowing Titan core. Her voice was calm. "This is not a threat, this is a warning. Earth remembers. You burned our world, you erased our names, but we are still here. We do not want war, but we will not run. The Titans have returned. So has our voice. Leave Kiriel Station, or be silenced." The message cut. The Empire's fleet paused. On the command deck, Heron smiled for the first time in years. "She speaks like them," Liz whispered. "Like the old commanders." He nodded. "She just became Earth's echo." In deep space, something else stirred. far beyond even the Titan fleet in a hidden place. The last vault unlocked. Inside it, something older than Titans, not machine, not man, a consciousness. It blinked and smiled. She found the key. Time to return. The Empire didn't reply. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. They simply began to retreat. One by one, their destroyers turned away from Kirill's station. Admiral Heron watched it all from the command deck, stunned. "They're pulling back," Lise whispered. "They're actually afraid." He said nothing. His eyes were fixed on the massive Titans outside the window, especially Juno, whose glowing core now pulsed gently, like it was breathing. But it wasn't over. Heron knew. The Ageron Empire never gave up. They regrouped, they planned, and they struck back harder. Down in the ancient vault, Kirill stood surrounded by the flickering light of the core. Her heart pounded. She had just spoken to the entire Empire. Her voice had carried through systems, through ships, through fear. The Titans responded only to her, and now she felt something deeper. A presence growing. The armored guardian knelt before her again. "You have awakened the choir of steel." She nodded. "Yes, but I felt something else, something watching." The guardian paused. "You touched the oldest signal, the one even the Empire never found. Far away at the edge of the galaxy, inside a black asteroid shaped like a tombstone, a system flickered to life. The surface cracked open. Inside a massive skeletal ship, covered in layers of alien dust, time, and battle scars. Its name was burned into its side, EV Nemesis, the last of Earth's sentient warships, once commanded by generals. Now asleep, for 200 years, until now. A soft blue glow lit up its bridge. Its ancient AI activated, and with it, a voice, calm, cold, and human. Kirill detected, choir online, Earth status, unknown, mission, resume. The ship began to move, silent, slow, relentless. The last ghost of Earth, now hunting. On Kirill's station, Heron was speaking to Kirill through a secure channel. "You've done something no one thought possible," he said. Kirill sat in the now bright chamber, her face calm but serious. "I just followed the truth," she said. "And it led me here." Heron nodded. "You've stirred something deep. Not just the Titans, but in people. The civilians are cheering. Even the officers who once mocked you are saluting now." Kirill looked down. "I didn't do this for glory. I did it because Earth didn't get justice, not even a grave." There was silence. Then Heron said quietly, "You may have just given Earth a second life." In the Empire's War Council chamber, General Viros slammed his fist on the table. "Cowards. You all turned back." One of his admirals, pale and sweating, replied, "Sir, we scanned those machines. Their power cores are beyond anything we understand. One of them could destroy a capital ship with a gesture." Viros growled. "And so what? They're relics, ghosts." Another voice spoke up from the shadows. "Cold. Old. Female. Ghosts have long memories." From the darkness stepped Matron Zira, the Empire's oldest tactician. She had seen Earth's fall with her own eyes. She had fought against the Titans and survived. She alone still carried the fear. "They're not just machines," Zira said. "They are the last scream of a world you failed to silence." Viros turned. "Then we must finish it. We must strike before more of them wake." Zira looked at him, her yellow eyes glowing faintly. "If you strike now, General, you may just wake the ones even the Titans fear." On Kirill's station, Kirill stood alone before Juno. The machine knelt like a giant knight before its queen. She raised her hand. "Do you remember Earth?" she asked. Juno responded in a deep, echoing voice. "We were Earth. We are what it made to survive. We do not forget." Suddenly, a warning ping appeared on the console. A new object was approaching from deep space. It wasn't a Gyron. It wasn't Titan. It was something else. A ghost EV nemesis exited the asteroid field and entered normal space. Heron's screen lit up. What is that? Liz said, staring. The ship looked ancient, like a dead whale covered in scars. But it moved with precision. Then came a signal, a voice calm and clear. This is EV Nemesis, Earth Command confirmed, transferring authority to Kiriel. Kiriel stared at the message on her screen. They know me. Heron replied, No. Commander, they remember you. The station shuddered again. More signals. 1, 2, 6, 12. Dozens of hidden Earth warships were waking up, some hidden under moons, some buried in black holes, some locked inside fake asteroids, each one responding to the same signal. Kiriel's voice. Back in the vault, the armored guardian stepped forward. You have reconnected the choir. But there is one last task. Kiriel looked at him. What? He reached toward a sealed pod. Inside it was a small black cube. Faint blue light pulsed inside. This is the Echo Key. It holds the memory of Earth's final council. If it bonds with you, you will carry their will. But it will change you. Kiriel hesitated. What happens if I refuse? The Titans will obey, but the fleet will remain silent. If you bond with it, Earth returns, fully. She stared at the cube, so small, so silent, she reached out and touched it. The cube opened. Blue light poured into her skin, her eyes. Her bones, she screamed. Memories flooded her, not hers, people she never met, voices she never heard, pain, war, love, loss, Earth's final moments. They didn't go quietly, she whispered, falling to her knees. They fought with everything. The cube vanished into her chest. The Titans all glowed brighter, and in every dark corner of the galaxy, the last buried war machines began to stir. Back on the Empire's flagship, General Viros received a message from Earth's systems. A voice, cold, mechanical, human. Kiriel is earthbound. The Titans rise. You are not prepared. He stared at the screen, and for the first time, General Viros looked afraid. A dark silence filled the Empire's war chamber. General Viros stared at the black screen. The message repeated again, colder this time. Kiriel is earthbound. The Titans rise. You are not prepared. His officers didn't speak. Even Matron. Sierra stood still, her claws shaking ever so slightly. Viros clenched his jaw. This is nothing more than an old bluff. They're machines. They can be hacked, shut down, broken. But no one believed that. Not after what they saw. Not after how easily the Empire's fleet had turned away from Kiriel Station like scared children. Viros smashed the console with his fist. Then we will remind them who controls the galaxy. Kiriel stood alone in the Titan chamber. The Echo Key had changed her. Not on the outside. She still looked like the young pilot who never fit in, but inside, she could feel it. Earth's rage, Earth's memory, Earth's hope, and something else, a direction. The Titans had woken up. The ancient warships hidden across the stars were now online, but they were waiting for her to decide, waiting for a leader, waiting for Earth's return. The bridge of the dreadnought Juno, Heron was preparing defenses. They'll come back, he said quietly. Lise, his second-in-command, looked unsure. But with the Titans awake, won't they think twice? No, Heron said. They'll come in greater numbers, with newer weapons, and they'll try to erase everything before it grows beyond control. He looked out the window where the black shape of EV Nemesis now hovered like a silent ghost. They know Earth wasn't destroyed, he said. They know it just went silent. And silence always hides secrets. Far from Kiriel Station, across a dying star system, the Empire's death fleet began to move. 100 warships, 10 planet crackers, 3 suns already drained dry by their machines, all heading toward one target, Kiriel Station, the last known location of a Titan signal. General Viros stood aboard the command ship Merciless Light, watching as his fleets formed in perfect lines. The humans wanted to play with. "They're old toys," he said. "Let's see how long they last in real war." Back at Kirill stood at the edge of the station's hangar bay staring into space. She wasn't alone. Juno had knelt near her, still as a mountain. EV Nemesis hovered overhead. And now, the others were arriving, ship after ship. Some shaped like ancient arrows. Others like floating cities, all black, all silent. Each bore the mark of Earth. Not the Empire's rewritten Earth, but the real one. The Earth that bled and screamed. The Earth that loved and lost. The Earth that fought until it burned. Inside one of the ships, a voice echoed through the empty halls. Echo key verified. Command accepted. Awaiting final orders. Engage or vanish. Kirill heard the same voice in her mind. Through the echo key, she could feel the thoughts of each ship, each Titan, each forgotten war machine. They were all waiting for her answer. Heron approached her. "You've started something no one can stop now," he said. She nodded. "I didn't want this." "But do you want to finish it?" he asked softly. She turned, her eyes glowing faintly blue now. "I want Earth to be remembered," she said. "And I want the Empire to understand what they tried to erase." Then, the alarm screamed. Lice ran onto the deck. Massive energy signature approaching, multiple jumps. Heron looked up. Here they come. The Empire had returned. The black of space lit up with hundreds of burning lights. The Agiron fleet had arrived. Their ships were vast and sharp, glowing with red plasma. The Merciless Light led the way, cannons already charged. Viros smiled. "Fire everything," he said. No warnings. The first wave of missiles screamed toward Kirill Station. But before they could hit, boom. Juno moved, its arms spread wide. A pulse wave shot forward. Every single missile froze mid-space, then turned around, back toward the Empire. Viros gasped. "What?" The returning missiles hit 5 of his ships, tearing them apart in fire. Then EV Nemesis activated. From its front, a long black blade of energy sliced forward like a sword through water. It cut through space, it cut through shields. It cut through silence. 2 more Empire ships shattered. Viros roared, "They want war? Give them hell." Kirill stood inside Juno, now bonded to its core systems. She raised her hand. The Titans around her responded. One by one they moved, like giants waking from a long sleep. Some activated shields that covered the station in glowing blue light. Others vanished from sight, cloaked. A few bent space and appeared directly inside the enemy fleet, tearing into them from the inside. It was not just a battle. It was a memory being rewritten. The galaxy was seeing Earth's true power again. Matron Zira watched the chaos unfold from a distance. She was not on the front lines. She had stayed behind, observing. And, as she saw Viros's mighty fleet begin to crumble, she whispered, "They forgot what humans are." The battle grew worse for the Empire. Their weapons didn't work the same. Their commands were jammed. Their AIs began to glitch and freeze. Kirill had given the Titans one command: disable. Don't kill. Not yet. She wanted the Empire to watch, too. See the strength of what they thought was broken. To feel what Earth felt when it burned. Then, from behind Kirill Station, a new figure arrived, not a ship, not a Titan, but a small silver pod. It drifted silently toward the battlefield. Inside it, a preserved body, old, human, the last general of Earth, kept in cryo, awakened by the echo key, his name, Commander Routh Az. The pod docked. Kirill rushed to meet it. It opened. He stepped out. Old, wrinkled, but his eyes still sharp. He looked at her, confused at first. Then he nodded. "You brought them back." She nodded. "And now?" He looked at the screens. The Titans, the Empire's broken fleet, and said only 2 words: time remembers. The war had paused, not stopped, just quieted. The Empire's fleet floated in broken formation, sparks flying from cracked hulls. Kirill Station was still intact, protected by Titans older than the Empire itself. And now, Commander Routh had returned. Kirill stood beside him in silence. The bridge of Juno felt heavy. Old memories, new fears, and a decision that would change the galaxy. Routh, though awake from cryo after 200 years, moved with calm authority. He looked over the Titan network display. His wrinkled fingers slid across the holo map, tracing enemy paths. Viros, he muttered. Still using old Z-class pincer tactics. Predictable. Kirill blinked. You know him? I trained him, Routh said. Outside, the battlefield held its breath. Titans held position. Empire warships floated cautiously, rethinking every move. General Viros stared at the screens on merciless light, sweat beading on his forehead. His fleet had never lost a full opening assault before. Why aren't they finishing us? He whispered. His second-in-command, Yorick, answered. Because they want us to see something. Maybe. To remember. Viros growled. I don't care what they want. Load Nova cannons. If we die, we take that station with us. But sir. Viros slammed his hand on the console. Do it. Inside Juno, the warning flashed. Nova energy spike detected. Planet cracker weapons active. Kirill turned to Routh. They'll destroy everything. We have to stop them. Routh nodded slowly. Yes, but not with fire. He touched the console. Open the vault. Kirill hesitated. The one beneath Mars? No, Routh said, eyes cold. The one buried under the moon. Deep beneath Luna's surface, in a chamber untouched for 2 centuries, something stirred. Long metal arms uncoiled. Red lights blinked open, one by one. A low hum shook the dust. Command accepted. Release protocol. Humanity Sigma 1. War. Asset Eidolon awakened. It was no ship, it was no AI, it was something worse. A living memory. A construct made of flesh and code. Part human, part machine. All rage. Eidolon launched from the moon like a silver comet, heading straight toward the fleet. Viros saw it approaching. Another Titan? No, Yorick whispered. It's something else. Eidolon didn't fire, didn't speak, didn't blink. It moved straight through one of the Empire's dreadnoughts. Not over. Not around. Through. The ship fell apart behind it, cleanly sliced down the center. Viros screamed, Fire everything! They did. Thousands of rounds, but they never touched Eidolon. Back at Kirill Station, Routh watched quietly. Liz asked him, What is that thing? He replied softly, The last Guardian. Built in the final year before Earth fell. It was too dangerous, even for us, so we sealed it away. Kirill stared in awe. Then why did you release it now? Because Earth isn't dead, Routh said. It's waking up, and the galaxy needs to feel what it tried to bury. In the chaos, one of the Empire's captains made a fateful choice. His ship, the Red Crown, turned away. He opened a private channel to Kirill. This is Captain Dorn. I served the Empire all my life, but I saw what you did. How you spared us. How you could have ended us. I'm switching sides. My crew too. Kirill's eyes widened. Why? His answer was short. Because I remembered Earth's mercy. It started a chain reaction. More ships turned, not many, but enough. Empire officers began to doubt, to question, to remember. The truth of Earth's end had always been a lie. The Empire said Earth destroyed itself. But now the lie cracked. Now. The Titans had returned. Viros refused to believe it. He ordered one final move. Pull the merciless light back, prepare the zero-sun bomb. Yorick gasped. Sir, that would... I said, prepare it. The zero-sun bomb was illegal even by Empire law. It didn't just destroy ships, it erased gravity, made space fold in on itself. A black hole weapon. Virus was done pretending. "If I can't kill the humans," he said, "I'll take everything with me." Inside Juno, Routh stood still. He knew what Virus had done. "I trained him to be better than this," he muttered. Curiel looked at him. "Can we stop the bomb?" "No," he said, "but we can trap it." He turned to the console. "I need Eidolon to intercept." Eidolon heard. It changed direction instantly, vanishing in a blur. Virus watched on his screen. "What is it doing?" Then Eidolon hit Merciless. Light. No explosion. No flames. Just silence. It wrapped its body around the bomb core, locked its systems, and jumped into deep space. Gone. The Empire's command ship vanished with it. No trace, no debris, only silence. The battle was over. The Empire's fleet retreated. Dozens of officers surrendered or defected. Some whispered about Earth with awe, some with fear. But none mocked it anymore. On the deck of Juno, Curiel stood beside Routh. "We didn't destroy them," she said. "We showed them." He nodded. "The greatest power is not in killing, it's in being remembered." Lise approached. "We're getting calls. Not just from the Empire, from the outer colonies, from neutral planets, even from the Galactic Council." "And what are they asking?" Routh said, "They're asking if Earth is coming back." Routh turned to Curiel. "Well," he asked, "what do you say?" She smiled. "Tell them Earth never left." The galaxy watched in silence. Titans had risen. An empire had bent. And a name, Earth, was no longer forgotten. But in the shadows, something older than the Titans woke up. At the edge of the dead zone, a region of collapsed stars and lost time. A signal pulsed. It hadn't broadcast in 200 years. Until now. Inside Juno, Curiel stared at the repeating signal. 4 sharp tones. A pause. Then 5 deeper ones. Then silence. Lys whispered, That's old Terran code." Routh froze. He stepped forward slowly and placed his hand on the console. No one was supposed to know this existed. Curiel looked at him. "What is it?" Routh answered. "It's the fallback plan. The fallback plan back before Earth fell. There was fear, not just of the Empire, but of themselves. If the Titans failed, if the vaults fell silent, if the last soldier died. Then a final message would activate. Not a weapon, not a ship, a memory. Deep beneath what was once Earth's South Pole, in the last secure human data core, a being waited. It was not alive, not fully. It had no body, no weapons, no face, only voice, only memory. It was called Keeper, and now the signal had reached it. Fallback protocol confirmed, audience reached, begin. On every screen across Curiel Station and beyond, a face appeared. Young, old, male, female, constantly shifting. It looked human, but also not. It was designed to represent all of Earth, not just one person. It spoke to the galaxy who buried us, to the Empire who feared us, to the survivors who remembered us. We are Earth, and we remember everything. In Empire-controlled space, panic spread. Leaders watched as the Keeper's message played, even in systems they swore were secure. It broke into their networks, shut down their propaganda, and showed images the Empire had deleted. The final days. Of Earth's bombing, children running through burning cities, pilots refusing orders to drop the last warheads, aliens weeping beside humans they failed to save. Back on Juno, Curiel stood stunned. The Keeper turned to her, not physically, but the screen shifted to face her. "Commander Curiel, you carry Earth's genes. You command Earth's Titans. You now carry Earth's voice." She asked, "What do you want from me?" "Not want," the Keeper said, "but offer." Earth's last archive. Everything we were. Every design. Every breakthrough. Every failure. To be shared, or to be buried again. Routh spoke quietly. If you share it, the galaxy will change forever. Kirael looked at him. Maybe it needs to. Meanwhile, deep in Empire territory, a different plan was unfolding. General, Phyros had been erased by Eidolon's sacrifice, but not all of him. His clone, made in secret, activated in a hidden system, and beside him, a figure waited, not human, not fully alien, covered in robes. Face in shadow. You failed, the figure said. Phyros stared. You said the Titans were myths. The figure chuckled. They were, until someone turned the page. Phyros growled. Who are you? The figure finally spoke its name. I am Nox, last prophet of the silent species. And I came to warn you that Titans are not your worst problem. Back on Kirill Station, Kirael accessed the archive. She saw blueprints, ships powered by gravity wells, cloaked drones with minds of their own, weapons that used black hole cores, and one file simply labeled Project Echo Fleet Status Unknown. She opened it. There were no schematics, just a message. If Earth falls again, the Echo Fleet will rise. Do not call them unless you are ready to lose the stars themselves. Liz looked over her shoulder. What is Echo?
Fleet,
Routh answered, his voice low, fearful. The ships we were too scared to use. Just then the Keeper interrupted. Signal traced, tampering detected, anomaly incoming. Kirael looked confused. From where? Not Empire space, the Keeper said. From outside the known galaxy. Alarms blared across Juno. A rift had opened near the edge of Dead Zone space. From it, 6 ships emerged, like nothing seen before. Not Empire, not human. Shapes that twisted space around them. Hulls that moved like liquid, no weapons visible. But stars dimmed in their presence. One word blinked on the screen. Unknowns. Inside one of the Empire's secret bunkers, Nox smiled. He whispered, You woke your Titans. Good. Let's see if they can survive what's coming next. In orbit, as the 6 unknown ships drifted silently toward the outer colonies, a feeling spread. Not fear. Dread. Because even the Keeper had no record of them. Even Earth's archive didn't recognize their signals. They were truly alien, and now they were here. Kirill stood on the bridge, fists clenched. We've been defending ourselves from the Empire for too long, she said. Routh nodded. And now? Now, she said, we find out if the galaxy is worth saving.